Yeah, good evening guys, it's Jim from jagfx.com. It's Wednesday the 18th of January 2017. Welcome to the weekly Forex trading analysis video for all the pairs I'm trading. I'm sorry I'm a day late, I forgot all about it last night. First up, I'll just have a look at the spreadsheet. I've had a change of pairs, like I said in one of my posts. I dropped the Euro Canada, even though it's still in an open trade. It's not going to be on my list anymore, and I've replaced that with two new pairs. I've dropped the Great British Pound Japanese Yen also, only because I've got so many EAs on it, just messes up my chart. So I replaced those two with the Pound New Zealand and the Euro Yen. So I've kept my correlation pretty tight still, so it's all still good there. Now let's have a look at the charts. Start off with the AUD NZ, Aussie New Zealand. This is the daily chart. Now I'm in a few trades in this pair, so in the daily I'm going to sell. You can see it marked here, and there's a red line on my entry. I actually like this one, come up nicely into the MAs, got the sell dot, the MACD's up high, so it's actually a pretty good sell signal. It's going against me a little bit at the moment. We've got plenty of room to move. The stop's up there, so that's all good. Go to the Aussie New Zealand 4 hour. Still in a sell from over here. That was for 0.05. Already closed 0.02 of that, and that stop is now just past the break even. Since then, had this big divergence, had a buy signal where price has bounced off the 240 LMA. You can see the divergence down here. MACD that is below the blue dots, fair way below the zero level. So I took a buy. So I'm in a buy and a sell on the 4 hour and a sell on the daily. So I know it's a little bit confusing, but there's a method behind my madness, so we'll just have to see how it pans out. Be nice if we can get wins from all three trades. We'll guarantee to get at least one. Not sure about the others. Alright, let's move on to the Aussie USD, the Aussie dollar. This is the daily chart. Nothing happening on the daily. I wasn't a buy from down here. There's big divergence across those lows there. I've taken the trend lines off the chart. Went up nicely, and I closed it because I thought it was stalling, but now it's shot up, so it's a bit of a bummer. But I took a good profit there. It's a couple of, I think it's close to 200 pips or something, so it was a good trade up. Aussie USD 4 hour. As I said on the daily, I thought it was stalling. I've taken a sell here. It's going against me already. It's a fairly low risk trade. Stop's not far from the entry. Based on this divergence here, it was against the trend. I was looking just to come down to this trend line here. You can see the red trend lines, regular bearish divergence. Looks like it's going against me at the moment, so we'll just wait and see how it pans out. Swiss franc, Japanese yen. Not really doing much. Don't worry about all the lines here. I've actually got an EA on this chart also on another platform on my VPS, but we are in a trade here. It's come there, like we've had this double top and the sell signal, and even though the MACD is still heading down, I can see it's starting to stall a little bit, and price has bounced off this 50 EMA, so we'll just wait and see what happens there. We switch over to the 4 hour chart, the same pair. I initially took a buy, and it went up a little bit and come down and stopped me out, which it was a bit of a bummer because I actually like the signal. Now I took a second buy, like a re-entry, and it's still this divergence here. Divergence, you can see the green line, it's regular bullish divergence. And this little red arrow on the side, just an alert. That's approximately about 60 pips, plus 60 from that entry. If it gets up there, which it'll be around the MAs, I will take half off the table and move my stop to break even. Just drawing a couple of these aqua trend lines. Just want to see these hold. This is the one I based my entry on, this shorter one, and it's looking alright so far. Right, Euro Great British Pound. This is the daily chart. there was a sell signal up here, as you can see the red dot here, big candle into the MAs, just wasn't comfortable with it at all, didn't take it. And one of the reasons I didn't take it, if we just switch over to the euro, the same pair, the euro pound, on the 4 hour, I'm already in the sell there. From up here, had beautiful divergence, regular bearish divergence, took the sell here, had this great big drop, went down, I think I closed half at 120 or something like that, and now it's pulled back a bit. I've got this blue dot in the MACD Platinum, but price is rolling over again, so if it keeps on heading down, I'll just probably bring my stop down above this high here. But yeah, it's looking pretty good, this trade, so it's good. Now here's one of my new pairs, the euro yen. I've got the fib tool on there at the moment. I'm just trying to suss out what's actually happening with it. I haven't taken any trades of it. Got this big bullish divergence forming. Now whether that pans out or not, we really need a blue dot on the QMP filter up here somewhere, and a blue dot in the MACD Platinum. I just drawn these trend lines in place and I can just move them when needed, but that's what I'm looking at, so it just gives me a bit of a heads up on what's happening. The fib tool is just on there to see how far it's pulling back. You can see it's come back to the 50 EMA and just past the 23.6 level. Not sure what it's going to do. The MAs are heading up, so we'll just have to wait and see. Then you come to the 4 hour chart, the same pair, the euro yen. We've got bullish divergence again, as usual on these 4 hour charts. Trying to pick a bottom against the trend. Now I didn't take this trade. I've drawn this blue aqua line down here, and it's a nice trend line. You can see the MAs are starting to spread and head down, so we're in a downtrend. There's a red trend line. It might be a little bit hard to see, but you can see it here. If we get a sell signal there, then we get red dot here and red dot up here somewhere, then there'll be bearish divergence. So a bit of a mixed bag really, so we just got to sit tight and wait to see what happens. Pound New Zealand is another new pair. Again, we've got mixed signals. There was a great sell signal up here which we didn't take. This is the daily chart. Beautiful buy signal there. If we'd been stopped out on this one here, certainly would have picked this one up here, and it's a great one. Now we've got this bullish divergence to the upside. It's a fairly ugly chart, the way it sort of shoots up, goes across and comes down, so it's I'm reluctant to take a buy trade here at the moment. It's going up towards the MAs. You can see it's in a fairly extended downtrend, so I'm just sitting tight and seeing if something presents on this chart, which is the 4 hour for the same pair. This too had bullish divergence across here, and the only problem is it was given sort of on this candle here, which is a big candle up, which is, I would imagine, is during the UK's Prime Minister May, when she made a speech about Brexit. So it's a difficult candle to sort of take an entry on so close to the MAs, and that it just wasn't practical. But you can see it's not a bad divergence, but just the entry didn't present very well. And we go to the US Canadian dollar, the CAD. Drawing a nice blue trend line down here just to give me an idea where it's at. You know, we had that double top across here. It's come down back to the down here. Now we've got possible bullish divergence forming. We've got a blue dot down here. We just need a blue QMP to confirm it. Again, these green trend lines have been drawn in thinking it may happen, that's all. So we just have to wait and see there. Now let's switch over to the 4 hour chart now, Canadian. Now look at this trend line. This is a beauty from up to high there, across there, and it just about, you know, that's textbook trend line, just about 4 points and possibly a fifth one here, depending on what happens here. Now I said in the Facebook post, we've got a buy signal here on this bullish divergence. You can quite clearly see the bullish divergence being confirmed. Get a blue dot here, and that was 1 hour before the Canadian interest rate, so it just wasn't worth the hassle of taking a trade. And I've been watching it, and I've been tempted to take it about 10 pips ago, but I'm just thinking it's a bit too close to that blue trend line. You could probably take it and maybe get 30 to 40 pips out of it. Look, it's shooting up now. It's at around number 2, which I might add. It's 131. So it's a pretty significant sort of number. Look at there, just dropped 5 points as I was speaking. So I'll probably just stand aside on this for now. It's too tight. You could get 30, 40 pips out of it maybe, but your stop would be about 80 odd pips, so probably not worth it. So I'll just flip over. I think we've got a Euro Canadian sell trade still in play. This pair will be removed from the profile once this has just been going sideways. This is the daily chart. Look at that in a sell. I think if it gets back to this is a 4-hour chart. If it gets back to a break even or a couple of pips and profit, I'm just going to close this one out. It's just a sideways market. It's got plenty of room to move to the upside, so I'll just go back to the dailies. And it's still in the downtrend, and the MACD platinum, I took the sell up here, or on this level here, and it's come down, got this blue dot here, and it really needs just to roll back over again, and I'll be done with it. It's not a pretty trade at all, that one. So that's it for about the pairs, guys. There's been a little bit of discussion about gold. I think I've got it somewhere here, so I'll just quickly run over that. There's a great buy signal on gold down here. Look at you get the big divergence, bullish divergence. I've marked it here. I was talking to someone else in another chat room about gold. It's not a pair that I trade that much. I have done it in the past on the 4-hour. And I had some good success with it, but it was the 4-hour candle was actually 1 hour difference to all my currency candles, so it was just a little bit of a pain. But having a look at this daily, it's come down nicely and it's shot up nicely. Now it's getting up towards the 50% fib level. It depends where you draw your fibs from. I've taken it from this extreme. If you came down a bit and ignored that sort of spiky wick there, and that's sort of the obvious place, and it's at the 50 level now. So the fibs are a little bit subjective, like trend lines or stuff like that. You just got to be consistent, like I always say. So yeah, gold's a bit of an odd one, and it is a place that people go for safety when there's uncertainty. And as you know, I've got the presidential inauguration on a couple of days on the 20th, so there could be some movement, and gold's a place that people may go to, so it's probably a stand aside unless you drop down to the shorter time frames. So other than that, guys, it's been a sort of a grafting week. Had some good wins and we had some crappy little losses, but getting a lot of trades at the moment, especially on the 4-hour against the trend, picking bottoms or tops. It's always a hard thing to do, and it's got a low rate of success at times, but when it pays off well. The thing is, once you commit, you sort of, as long as the signal remains valid, it's best to stay committed and have a couple of goes at it. So if you don't want to trade that way, that's fine. If you just want to go with the MAs, that's cool, no problems at all. Just stick with a daily chart or something like that. But no, it's all good. So yeah, there's been a bit of interaction on the Facebook group, which is great. I've been getting plenty of emails too, which is good. I don't mind either. So thanks everyone for being a member of the group, whether it be the YouTube channel or the Facebook group, or just being on my email list and buying the books and reading the books. Much appreciated. And any questions you've got, or you want to discuss anything Forex, you know the drill. Contact me anytime and I'll be more than happy to help. Thanks very much, guys. Have a good night, and again, sorry about the couple of days late on this video, but it's all good. Cheers.